And, not only does it regard sports, if you don't mind me going off on a little side quest here,
Not at all, brother.
you and I, something else that you and I did together, you and I used to play video games all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I still play to an extent. I still play here and there. What I love to do, I love talking to Jean about video games, and she's not just humoring me, she's genuinely
Oh,
curious
absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
and the reason being, man, Dom, Jean went blind 20 years ago.
Yeah, like 1999.
She was
Yeah,
she was in an
Wow.
accident, which we might get to in a minute.
right.
Um, but
Wow.
Jean was never a gamer, so what I'm getting at is I get to explain today's video games to someone who the last video game they saw was Pac-Man.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's a trip. That's a trip.
And
Um,
and Dom and Dom, he is incredibly patient with explaining it to me over and over again. And he does a great job in letting me know what's happening. So I literally have had a time where he plays and I listen and I know exactly what's going on. And because
that
she's explained it so well.
that's really cool. No, that
Yeah.
really is cool. That I've been I had a surgery in January. I had a hernia surgery, and normally I'm like a super just physically active guy on the go, but like it sat me down for about 3 months. I couldn't do none of my usual activities. I live out here in Nevada, so we like to hike and explore, and I like to skateboard a lot of my free time. I'm a very active guy, former athlete myself, but like it sat me down and I couldn't do none of that stuff. So I got really into video games in that time, just as like something to not go crazy. I was cooped up in the house for like 3 months. And have you ever played any of the Fallout games, or are you aware of the Fallout games, Cameron? Are you a fan of those?
Oh, dude,
Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah,
Oh
I
he is.
wow. Oh
I'm
cool.
a huge fan of, and now, like I said, there's really only certain games that I can see. Unfortunately, when you and I were kids, man, I could see a lot better than I can now. My vision has declined a lot. So there's very few games that I can still play. But
Okay.
I used to be a huge fan of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I tried playing Fallout 4 and could not see it well enough to play it, but I
It's a
have
very
beaten.
dark game. Like it's
It's a
even
very
like
dark
sometimes
game.
tough for me. Like if I'm like in the dark, or I'd have to like turn up the brightness on my TV. No, that would make sense. That would
Yeah,
be a
I
very tough one for you.
I have beaten. I've beaten Fallout 3. I've beaten New Vegas, and I've beaten another game that's distributed by the same company, by Bethesda, Skyrim. I've beaten Skyrim.
See, I want to play Skyrim because I like Fallout so much, and
Oh,
I've heard so much good things about Skyrim.
oh,
I've
dude.
never played it. I want to get
Dude,
into that.
Skyrim is just Fallout, but instead of post-apocalyptic, it's fantasy. You take away your shotgun and your plasma rifle, and you've got a great sword in one hand and a spell in the other. But it plays just like Fallout. It's fantastic.
No, that's sick, man. Yeah, the like the immersive world, like the attention to detail, the kind of just like never-ending vastness of it. I don't know. It's a really cool game for sure. And like I said, as a guy who needed to kill like 8 hours a day, so I wouldn't go crazy, it's the perfect game to sink a couple hours into for sure.
The game I always play with that I tell Gene the most about. Have you ever heard of? And it's been around since you and I were kids. Have you ever heard of the Diablo series?
Yes, I have, and I've heard good things about it. Never played it, but I've heard like it's
It's
popular.
it's an excellent game, but it's very, very easy to pick up and play. It's a hack and slash dungeon crawler type of game. So
Hack
you,
and slash is the perfect word.
well, that's how I describe it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But all you do is just go in different dungeons and different castles and forests and fields and just just carve your way through waves of enemies, and that's really the whole game. But it's a ton of fun, and that's part of the game that I tell Gene about the most.
And the thing that I get to listen to the most is him pressing on the slash button.
Button mashing at its finest,
Oh
for
yeah,
sure, man.
he's